Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Red Road Paranormal. I am Christina. I'm here with my co-host Rez and our guest Wraith. It's looking like it's going to be a really interesting conversation. So I'm just going to hand it on over to Rez.
Hey everybody, your favorite Resnick here. Here to introduce you to a friend of mine, a gentleman that I've been talking to online now for a little over a year. You might have seen me on a couple of his shows or popping in on team members of his shows. But Mr. Wraith from Texas Wraith Hunters, how you doing, big man?
Doing awesome, man. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you here, buddy.
Very good.
So, one of the things I wanted to start off with is we've talked before, and you got a haunted forest down there in San Antonio that you like, that
Oh
we've
yeah.
talked many about. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about it, and so Christina can know a little bit more, and we'll go
Yeah,
from
fill
there.
me in.
Okay. Well, on that one right there alone, the famous haunted forest. It's actually an urban legend that's tied to it. There's a bridge, and it's called the Donkey Lady Bridge. But we went there, me and my original team, about almost 3 years ago now, and we didn't stay at the bridge. And when we went there, we really didn't even go to investigate. We went, my son, my co-founder, Ace the Hunter, but he's also a music artist. So we just had done a show. We came out about 10 o'clock. Of course, you got four guys down there. That's when before I moved to San Antonio. So we're looking for something to do, of course, right?
Yeah, something to pass the time.
Yeah, and we're here alone, so it's just all four of us. And then, so I said, hey, man, let's go find somewhere to go. Let's just go. I didn't even have any equipment with me. I just had the camera that was filming him at the show, and which was just a regular Canon camera. And so we just kind of started just kind of looking for stuff, haunted places in San Antonio, and, and we found that one just seemed interesting, Donkey Lady Bridge. You know what I mean? So we went to
Right.
it, and but I tell you, and I know a lot of people know because this thing has grew into a huge following. Um, as soon as we started going down to it, of course, it's pitch black dark. I mean, this dark's right out of the movies, man. Something out of Friday the 13th or something. We're going down the road and it starts to wind and it goes down into the forest and to the entrance where the bridge is at. And we stopped there. Of course, we got off. And okay, at that time, we met four other people, a lady, her husband, her nephew, and one of their friends. And they came up to us and say, hey, are you going to go in there? And then so we told them who we were. Oh, yeah, when I've seen you. Okay, well, good. We got some fans. I said,
Right.
in my mind, I'm thinking we got bait. So, so I said, yeah, sure, you can go with us. So we ended up walking in past the bridge, and it just, like I said, it just turns black that night. And I've been there many times already, of course, through 3 years. That night, it was just especially dark. I mean, it was so dark you couldn't even see your feet. And as we were walking in, you could just feel the energy. And at that time, like I said, we weren't prepared for anything. We were just looking for something to do. So we didn't go to investigate anything. We were just passing the time, like Chris said. And as we start walking in, of course, I start picking up on everything. And it's like you start hearing like noises come from the trees. Um, you start getting smells. There's things in our video that came out that we didn't hear at the time, but this is when I talk about vortexes and portals and things that are in there. You could hear it in the video. After I heard it, you could hear like a swishing sound, like you're going through a car wash. And but you didn't hear it. We didn't hear it when we were there. But at that same instance where I can hear it in the video, I knew that at that moment, I feel like I started going like I was walking through in a swimming pool. You could feel the resistance on my legs. Even one of my
Yep.
members had to put his hands behind me and kind of hold me up because it was like pushing me back. And we got so far, we got about halfway in there, and then we heard like a bottle throw. And so in my mind, I kept thinking, well, maybe there's houses up here, but there's not. And so something threw something at us. There was you could hear like owls that started going off. Sometimes, those are all indications when you hear owls.
Yep.
Um,
They say they're messengers.
right.
Yeah.
And one of the guys started making fun of them, like they were just doing something, you know what I mean, male and female. And so he made fun of it. And this one of the guy, or the husband. So as we kept walking forward, the girl, she started to say, "There's something follow us, something follow us." And I already knew there was something follow us. I was like, all of a sudden, I just kicked in, and then we kind of got a little separated. There were the other guys were more ahead of us, and then it got to the point where she really started. It started to affect her really bad. Like she started to lose it. And so I'm standing there with her, and I'm telling her, okay, just got to stay calm. I went up to the kid, to the my husband and his nephew. They're just sitting down on the ground. They got all of a sudden they got quiet. So we walk over there, and I walk over there to him and say, hey, you need to get your wife out because she's losing it. And they were just frozen. Here they are chattering, laughing, goofing off and everything. Next thing you know, they're just frozen, sitting on the ground, just looking the same way. And I said, hey, dude, you got to get your wife out. I mean, she's losing it bad. Nothing. I said, okay, something done jumped on these guys. I need to get her out. So I go back and I tell her, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with them, but I need to get you out of here. So we start walking. My other two members, it hit them so hard that they went back twice. We went back two more times, but I ended up losing them. I didn't lose them in the forest because I was got to say that everybody always makes
All right.
we
So
lost them.
say,
I don't want to.
don't tell me you tied him up to a tree or something like that for bait.
Yeah. No, it affected them so much that even after all the investigations we've done in some really intense places, that they just ended up leaving the whole thing, the whole paranormal, everything. They were done.
Wow.
And the only one that stayed, of course, was my co-founder, my son. And but so we went back, we came out, and then about 5 minutes later, they come walking out. But when they come walking out, they're like in another zone, and they come in, they jump over the rail on the bridge, and they just like they stuck there, and they're just staring down the river. And I'm thinking to myself, if they fall, that river's going to take them that way because it's flowing. They're going to go around that bend, and they're gone. So I left them alone. I said, okay, that's on y'all. So I said, we're going to go back in. So we ended up going back in. Now, this is where it gets crazy because this is how I remembered. Because I remembered if they fall in, they're going to go that way and go around the curve, around the bend. Okay, when we went back in, we took another way, and then we were following their friend, and he ended up going into the forest. And then so I'm standing there looking at him. I said, man, oh man, I gotta follow him in there. Because we really were spooked at that time. When I followed him in there, I could feel like the ground was grabbing me. And then I stopped. Now we call them fireflies, but I don't think they're fireflies. They look like fireflies. They were, they just like them, but they light up red, blue, green, yellow, different colors than a normal firefly would. White, and they started to circle me, and I'm talking about like hundreds of them, that they were blinding me because to combine with their little lights was so bright that it was blinding me. My son was standing with the girl and my other member, and then he goes, I gotta go in there and just go in there. We gotta get my dad. Look, they're surrounding him. And so he goes, my member that's the one that one of them that left. He goes, well, I'm just gonna stay here with her. So my son goes, no, we got to go in. So he went in after me. When he came up to me, I said, look, just sit down real quiet and look over there. And you could see a dark shadow just sitting there, which now I know is one of the gatekeepers, one of the elementals is there. Yeah. They guard each portal, each gateway. And we could hear the friend go deeper, and he was just growling. I mean, he kept growling and growling. My son goes, what's wrong with him? I says, I don't know, but I think he crossed over somewhere else. So when he came back out, I said, okay, let's go back and let's tell my member to take her out. Just go ahead and just take her all the way out. And then we're going to go a little further. But when we came back, it's not even far. It's about maybe 40 feet from the sidewalk. Because it's a bike trail that goes through there that they made. We came up there
Okay.
and we were maybe, I mean, not even far, maybe about 20 feet, something like that, maybe 20. Because when you watch just a little bit, we could see her, like we could see her and my member, but they couldn't see us. And when I was looking, you could literally see like water shimmering, like it was a wall of water, and I was looking through it. And
Hmm.
every time that I tried to go up to it, it would just push me back and push me back. Later on, I found out that she had said, "Where are they at? Because I can't see them and I can't hear them." But yet we could see and hear them. That's how close we were, but they couldn't see
Hmm.
us. And literally, I had to walk down, feeling my way, and then feeling the energy. And I found a pocket, a hole. We literally all three of us crawled through that hole to come back out because we couldn't come back. That's when we didn't. Okay, that's then we came out. Then we went back to the bridge, and you know, there was a lot more because I don't know how much time I got. I forgot to ask you that
Oh,
because this
we got
when I
time, my friend.
okay
Yeah, we
when I
got
when I
time.
talked about this one the first time, just to get the first half was 5 hours.
We don't
And
have
I
that much time.
no, no, and I'm not going back and forth on on what happened. I'm going right through it. So we but we also saw something because right before we started coming back out, I told my son, wait here with me. I'm going to tell Joe and that way he can take the friend and the girl back. So I told him, I said, because look over there, you can see another opening. Because the way that it opens is crazy. It's just a dark, it's just a black, like a train tunnel. You know, you can just see it black. And I said, I want to go see what that is, or this. I think that's another entrance. So I told them to go back, and it's real simple. I mean, it's a bike trail. You just go straight, you make a left, and then go straight, make a right, and that's it. It's a little ways, but not that far. But you can't get lost. I mean,
Yep.
there's no way. Well, not even 5 minutes later, we could hear, "I'm lost, I'm lost." And I go, "What is that? Is that guy?" And so we started calling to him. He starts walking back towards us, and we can see him, and but we don't see him. We saw something walking up towards, but it was really skinny apparition kind, and as tall as I would say, maybe halfway to a telephone pole.
Hmm.
Wow.
And you could see him just like this. But as he started getting closer to us, he started getting smaller and smaller. And then right before he got to us, you could see that it was him. And I wasn't seeing this just alone. My son was seeing it too. I mean, we're seeing these things with our eyes.
Wow.
And it's like, what is this going on? He
So
goes,
far, sounds like we got elementals, fairies, portals, energy walls, and now the Slender Man.
well,
That's kind of like what he sounds like there to me.
that's what I thought, but the Cylinder Man story and everything. But
Yeah.
when I seen pictures of it, that's what it looked like, but way taller because he was about to like almost to a telephone pole. And but you could see him coming, and he started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it becomes that guy's name is Thor, Daniel, and so you could see him now like this, and right in front of us. Go, hey, what happened? Why'd you get lost? There's no way, dude. He goes, I don't know, man. I just got lost. He goes, well, where's the other two? He goes, I don't know. They were there, then they were gone. I said, okay. So I said, we looked up, but in between that time, we went to that other dark spot in the forest, and it was another portal. That's what I call it. And I knew that I told my son, if we go in here, I don't think we're going to come out. There's just something we're going to have to come back. There's someone just telling me, don't go in here because you're not going to come out of this one. And so we turned around, we walked back, and same thing. We walked back, we went straight, and you make a left because if you make a right, it's a dead end. We got to that crossing. I mean that crossroad, and we were lost. I'm good at tracking. I am good.
Wow.
I am a very good tracker in the woods, and I'm standing there like, what happened? Nothing looks the same anymore. This wasn't here. That big tree wasn't there. And remember, there was a huge tree on the ground. Where did it go? Okay, I know it's left, right? And I'm sitting there like, we're lost. And it's like, this is impossible. There's no way, dude. It's like, there's no way. And I said to myself, okay, just calm down. even if you stay here right now, it's already late. Morning will come, and then you can figure this out. But then another voice telling me in my head is, morning ain't never gonna come. This is what it's gonna be like. You're gonna sit here and wait and wait and wait, and they're never gonna come. So we ended up going right, which was wrong. And it's like, okay, so we turned back the other, but you got to mind it's just a T, and it
Yeah.
ends this way. So like I said, it's impossible. So, but here we are, lost. So we came back the other way, and as we're walking, it felt like we walked forever. And I know it wasn't that far. And of course, things don't look the same anymore. We finally got back to the bridge, and it's like, because right there when you hit the bridge is a T again, and just make a right, you can see the bridge. And then as we walk to the bridge, I mean, I'm tripping up because it's like, dude, what happened? This was a lot. I mean, this was a lot that just happened. I think we were in there for 6 hours,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
but we didn't. We lost track of time. And but the this so we ended up coming back to when I lived in Odessa. Even when we started coming into Odessa, it's a desert town, of course, but everything looked different. Something changed. Every like some just the smallest things, but it wasn't the same. Something like out of the Twilight Zone. Something was on this side, now it's on this side.
Do you think that you slipped dimensions?
Oh yeah, I know now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And
Yeah.
and then when we got back home, my wife told me we were there. I was there maybe the next day. Um, well, the next day after that, she told me I don't know what you did, but something's not the same here. Even she picked it up, and she didn't even go with us. Uh, she says you're not the same, and there's not, and this place is not the same. I don't know what you did, but put it back. So, because even and then my son called me. He goes, "Hey, Dad, there's something going on, man. I don't know what it is. There's something different." I says, "Yeah, we didn't talk about it." I said, "Yeah, I pick up on that too." I says, "I don't know what it is, but there's some. Even the cat is kind of my cat, but it's not my cat, you know." So
Yeah.
we were at first we were trying to figure this out, what was going on. I went to work, and I'm sitting out there because I used to drive a truck, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I'm thinking to myself, man, what is going on, man? It was like 4:30 in the morning. I said, this is not right. There's something off, and that's when it's my wife. She texted me, and she told me that, and then we ended up. I told my son we need to go back, and of
Mm.
course they didn't want to go back, but we did, and that's when I still had all four. So we came back. When we came back the second time, I noticed that when we came to the bridge, again, there was something that caught my eye was that the river was flowing this way.
Opposite, huh?
Yeah. I said, wait a minute, there's something here that's wrong. I remember because I said, when if they fall, they're going that way and around the curve because you can still
Mhm.
see the curve. But the river now is going the opposite way.
Hmm.
This is part of the San Antonio River. Rivers don't change direction like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and so the bridge being a bridge connecting from one side to the other. So we went back in, and this time, at those times, I was really, really aggressive. I was the Zach Bagans. I provoked. I did everything, man. You name it. I didn't care.
Thought you were
but
10 foot tall and bulletproof, didn't you?
But I know, but also too, I would get punched, and they're so freaking hard. I mean, I wouldn't feel it then, but when we would come back to the room, I would have bruises on me, literally, where you can touch, and it hurts, from an impact.
Yeah.
And but that's that. Then after that time, we seen kind of the same thing. So, oh, this time there was a whistle. There's a whistle that follows you. It comes from the front, then it comes from the back, then it'll come from the sides. Then you feel like you're surrounded, and you really don't know where it comes from. Everything comes in sequences. Then you'll start to hear like you hear coyotes. But I'm from West Texas. I know what coyotes sound like. You hear women crying. You hear the owls, you hear the whistle, and it all starts at a certain time. So everything's in a sequence at a certain time.
Hmm.
And when we came back that second time, we noticed that we seen people that we there was people that we knew that weren't there no more. And I don't know what happened to them, like neighbors, down the street, 5, 6 houses down. Hey, what happened to that guy that was down there? I don't know. I haven't seen him. Well,
Hmm.
like he was never there. We seen people that were like um, 30 to 40 years older. I says, I remember that dude, man. What happened? This is not him. There was people on TV that I saw that were older now. So that one started getting to us. You know what I mean? Because dude, we saw it. This guy wasn't like this. This guy now is like 70 years old. What happened? And that's when I would get these jumps, and and it's crazy because there was a time when I first started talking about this about quantum jumping,
Mhm.
and I would jump and jump, and people, of course, at first were kind of like, "Okay, you're talking about something way out there now." If you notice now on TikTok and everything, they talk a lot about quantum jumping.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been doing that for years, and I just stopped talking about it because nobody had any idea what I was talking about.
right. But if you
Yeah.
notice now,
Now,
now
yeah,
it's
Concept's
now
been
it's
all you
around
everywhere.
hear.
forever.
Yeah.
Now it's all you hear. And I started talking
Not in
about
there.
it.
In the early 90s, there was a TV show all about it, Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of us did it for real.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
But hey,
Yeah.
everything you see on TV comes from reality at some point in
At
time.
some point, yeah.
Right. So all this stuff that started happening, that place I know that I mean, I hate to use the word Bigfoot, but there is something like that in there. I never believed in really the UFO phenomenon. The abductions. Okay, I've heard the stories and everything. I didn't knock it. It was just not my forte. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what you do. Hey, man, if it took you, it took you. I'm a different believer now. And I've never been that. And then, like I said, I've never gone, and I wasn't a believer in Bigfoot either, Sasquatch, which would they anything like that. But that place has shown so many things that leads to the UFOs, leads to the Sasquatch, leads to the elementals, the fairies, the gnomes. I mean, the portals, the vortexes. Oh my gosh, man! The indigenous people that were there, the shamans that one that I ended up meeting, and the other one is the bad one. Like I said, it started to reveal the stories of what really happened there before San Antonio was even here, before even the Battle of Alamo, because this is all battleground, even before the battles. And then I ended up doing so much. I've been doing research and research on it through those years that I found out that my ancestors come from, that I come from there.
Nice.
And so that's when I started to see, and because I've heard my grandmother tell me stories, I remember those stories, and so it's crazy that this place drew us in. And like I said, one of my members, I think he was Cherokee. So with his tribe and that tribe don't get along, that's why he got attacked so hard.
Makes
And
sense.
so
Yeah.
he because he said he saw his white wolf walking with him, protecting us. And then after that, like I said, it got to him so hard that he just left. He said, "I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with this no more." So he was out. The second one, you know, he went back one more time because he felt that he was, he told me, he goes, "Man, I was a coward when I went in there, dude. I got to go back. I got to fix this, man. I can't live with myself like this." He went back in. I think he made peace, and then that was it for him. And so we continued going, and um, we started mapping it out. We found symbols of when it took me 2.5 years to find the place, the very entrance that me and my son went in when he went after me. I finally found it on satellite, and we came back again. I found it, and then when I found it and I went up to it, there's two trees, and one of the trees I see the spiral symbol. Of course, you know that the Hopi use those spiral symbols for portals.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I told my son. This is funny, isn't it? Look at it this way. We went in there. We know that that's an entrance. You know what that represents? An entrance. So it's like an exit and an enter sign for us. So is that coincidence that there's a spiral sign on that tree and that's an entrance?
Yeah, they're
Not at
marking
all.
a gateway. It's
Yeah, that is not
perfect
a
sense.
coincidence.
So, and I try to keep,
And the other thing I'm thinking of is with your heritage and being originally from that area way back when, you were automatically drawn to that area. That was an energy you once knew in a past life,
right.
and you connected to it. And that's maybe why you're having all these experiences there,
Yeah.
because you are shifting between the two times from when you were there originally versus nowadays, maybe.
Right. And then, but it would draw us back. Every time we would come back home, I could be here, I could be back at home. But at the same time, I started getting the jumps. I was starting to get like dizzy. I would have to lay down, and then like I would just go into a meditation automatically, and then something would pull me, and then I would see like purple and red colors, violet, and then I would just. And there was one time I was laying on the couch, and I got sucked right through the couch, and then came right back, you know. And I actually had one of my mentors. I told him, I says, I think I kind of getting the knack for this because I start to recognize when it starts to happen. But the thing is that every time we jumped, we came back to a different place.
Yeah.
And
You'd never come back to exactly where you started.
right. And then when it did happen, and if you fought it, and like I explained it before to my son and to other people, we live in this parallel. When this parallel start to cross, and you don't jump, you stay in that other one, you're gonna be miserable. Nothing works anymore. Your abilities won't work. Nothing. Everything how we are, how we function now, especially like Rez, your abilities, Christina.
Yep.
Just
Mhm.
imagine that now it doesn't work. All of a sudden, it because we got stuck in one, and it's a nightmare. It hurts your body because you don't
Ha-
belong here.
I have a
You know.
question. Has your heart been racing as you've been talking about this?
Right now, yeah,
Because my heart started racing and I'm just like, oh my God, what is
yeah.
that? And I realized I was picking it up from you.
And
Yeah.
every time that I've talked about it, this is the first time I've talked about it on a podcast in a little while because I stopped talking about it. Um, because at first it was just like it was so hot that everybody was just beating me down to hear this story once they got out.
Right.
That even on podcasts, people would either feel dizzy, or it would start shutting down, just like you said earlier. You know, people would have dreams after I talk. They would message me. I had a dream last night about this forest. I had a dream about this. You know, uh, it's like it just draws. Even now, being talking about it, it just draws things out. It changes things. But as like I said, after already this is my third year, little over 3 years that I actually moved down here because of this place. Because there's still way more story of what happened there, and the indigenous people want this. My tribes want this thing to come out. It's not. There was a guy who went not too long ago, about 8 months ago. He's from Ghost Geeks, and I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Mhm.
But he went down there. He's a seasoned investigator. He went during the daytime, and he just went in that first part. And he starts walking, and it was funny because I was on the live on the chat, and I was watching him, and I was still in Odessa, and then he got to that one part where that spirit crosses across, and he got to the end, and he turned around, and he says, "I just saw something run across." I said, "Yeah, I'm typing in there. Yes, it's right there." He didn't know nothing about this place, so he was just confirming things right there as he was going on. So he walked back, and then he just starts to get a little spooked. And I said, "This guy's a seasoned investigator." And he starts saying, "I feel like I'm being watched, and I feel like this is no longer a ghost hunt. I have become the prey."
Yeah.
And I'm saying, "Man, and you're there
Mhm.
during the daytime, and you're only at the beginning. Go down there, make a right to go this," because I've said I've started mapping and going because we go into the forest, and so to me, I mean, that was just more confirmation. But like I said, this experiencing all these jumps, it did start to take a toll on my mind because we started to see and understand a lot of things. We started getting downloads. Like we come out of there and before you know it, we know things that we didn't know. My abilities changed. Like they're no longer like one way now, they're hyped up 10 times. And I see
Welcome to
things
the
and
club.
yeah,
Yep.
and I see things
I'm
and I
sitting here
understand.
nodding in agreement. Yep.
Yeah, I see things and understand things that are different. My knowledge of my practices that I've done before, which people can consider dark, well, they've gone up this way. Everything's different. Um, Even now, it's kind of like I can draw people in just with my voice. It's just so many, it's just so much. But I went there by myself. What's it? Last weekend, and on the moon, on the blue moon, because I got there's different. I describe it as different neighborhoods. I don't know if you ever remember watching the movie Warriors.
Yep.
You know how they went from
That
one
was one of my
neighborhood.
favorite movies. Yep.
They went from one neighborhood to they're trying to get back home. So that's like us. We went in. You're gonna get lost. Everything's gonna turn on you, and you're trying to come back. But every neighborhood that they went through was a different game and different everything, different atmosphere. Even the girls, they got to the girls that they were all nice and everything. Then the girls turned on them. They were just as bad as
Yep.
the other guys. Okay, it was the same thing in there. You'll go so far, not very far. It's like a square block, and before you know it, you don't cross into another one. But right there, there'll be another gateway with another elemental garden in,
Hmm.
and you'll get through it. But once you get through it, now it's a whole nother game. Like over here in my what I call my area, it's really peaceful. That part that we first went in, like that's my place. But now I have found another block that when I go in there, they don't like me. And then I've gone further than that, and they don't like me worse. You know what I mean? They and I've come out of there now lately, which has been kind of crazy because it's never happened with attachments. And I know I talk about that, hey, I welcome attachments. Well, these last two attachments kicked my butt hard.
Hmm.
And that because I have another member on my team that's what she does. She takes care of me. Like I have my own personal, the race has his own personal shaman in a way, that she gets mad at me a lot because I'm always getting in trouble, and then she's got to clean me up.
Bail you out.
Yeah, bail me out, clean me up and everything. But these last two, one of them pushed me down, and I still got the scar, and I bled all over the place, and I was by myself. I went back this on the blue moon, and that's when I went back with the death whistle. Death whistle scared the crap out of him. He didn't want nothing to do with it. So, but that's what the death was supposed to do. The warriors used it for war or for rituals or to. People always think that what death whistle is to summon demons and bring them. It's actually the reverse.
Yep.
You know, so and I was using my necrophonics, and you could hear it. I think I was on the live. I don't remember, but I know I had two people with me on there, and you could hear it. He was speaking so loud because I had my headphones on because I was talking to him through my headphones. That they actually heard him telling me to get out audibly. That even one of the members' husband was in the next room and heard that and said, "What is that sound?" That was audible coming through the phone. Oh, because I was on FaceTime.
Okay.
But yeah, this place, and I've taken some people. It doesn't allow a lot of people to go in there. I haven't taken very many, maybe like 3 or 4 through these 3 years. Uh,
Well, eventually we know I'm coming down there.
2 people. I took 2 seasoned founders of a team, and she watched her husband disappear. And I told her, I says, watch. I told one of my members, go right there. Once he crosses that right there, that line you can see right there on the ground. I says they're gonna disappear. Don't freak out. Your husband will be all right. And so then I told my member, go ahead and go. And once they cross, she starts going, "Where's my husband? Where's my husband?" I said, "He'll be right back. Watch." And they kept walking, and then you'll see him come back out. You'll see other dimensions. Uh, you can use the flashlight, and you'll see nothing but a wall of trees. You turn off the flashlight, and you'll see right flat plane. That you'll see. You'll even see houses. Turn the flashlight back on, and everything is just nothing but a wall of trees. Now I've proven that before to a couple of other people that took in. I said, "Now watch. You see this wall in front of us? It's just nothing but trees. Yeah, watch. I'm going to walk through it. Turn off the light, and I'll walk right in." And you'll see the pathways open. They'll glow. I said, like there's places where the ground will glow like diamonds. I've tried to pick them up, but they're not. You can't get them.
Yeah.
And
No early retirement.
you'll see pathways that they glow, and they'll just open up, and then they'll close. So that takes you deeper in another way. But everything changes. There's old homes that you'll see, not regular homes, or maybe like homes made out of the branches. You'll see those. They'll glow. The leaves glow. But see, now what I've started to do was, because when I went and got, I don't have my bone. I don't know I was going to talk about this. Um, I had my bone because what it started to do was it started taking me on a shamanic journey, and I started gathering my shamanic toolbox. Of course, this comes with research and just keep talking to people and just learning this. But it's something almost kind of like you already know. I already knew it. I just didn't never experienced it, and that's something that I've always wanted. I had in me for years to go on up to the New Mexico mountains and a shamanic journey with a shaman. So I actually got to do it here now. Didn't have to go very far.
Right.
And so that one took me a lot to get. And actually had to go into that forest, out of that forest, and I found another forest within the forest. I actually call that forest Alice in Wonderland because it's just like that. Man, you walk in and everything's upside down. And
Just don't lick any mushrooms. That's just don't lick any
and,
mushrooms in there.
and you'll see the big arches of the trees, how they make the big arch. And you'll literally just look at it, because I do have one portal that I got during the daytime on video, and I think I talked about it before, where you can see it. Um, Greg Koss, I don't know if y'all know Greg Koss.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was watching
Okay.
it, and I showed it to them, and I says, "Look, you can see it, and you can see the portal open." And as we got closer, it started getting close. It would close. I was pacing or taking a number of the steps on when it closed and when it opened. You just got to keep your eye on it, and then once you do that, just grab on and just keep on walking, and you'll walk right into it. And people always ask me, "So what is it like when you walk through a portal?" Because even back then, when I started talking about portals, it was one of those things about quantum jumping. Oh, the portal thing, the orbits thing. Now you hear a lot about portals.
Yeah.
This is, to me, is kind of funny, because now maybe I came into a place where there's something else that's happened to me here lately. This time, I feel like the paranormal is different. Something changed in the whole paranormal field.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And
There's been a shift.
and I'm not talking about drama, because yes, drama has gotten really bad, but something's changed in the paranormal field itself. The prayer level that I was in before was really strong in paranormal. This one is not.
Okay.
For me, it's different. Like, people have disappeared. It's like it's like going to your reunion at school, whatever. You see everybody. So give me right now, my hands are just getting hot, and it's like now there's just a small handful. It's not as strong anymore.
Right. I think it's been diluted with commercialism, to be honest with you. I think it's been so diluted that it's just not as strong as it was anymore overall. Like it's kind of permeated all of the whole
Yeah.
investigation aspect.
For me, just like many people have disappeared. They're not around no more.
Yeah,
Like, I
I've
want to
seen
know what
some of
happened
that too.
to them. They're gone,
Mhm.
you know. And so, well, that's just one of the places here. I mean, like I said, that's a very, very long story that's not even done yet. But I've taken several people. I don't take anybody anymore. That place will, ever since I've been accused of selling souls to the forest.
Wait, selling
um,
souls to who?
ever since I've been accused of selling souls to the forest.
Oh, wow.
Um,
See, I go to the forest, out to the woods to find my soul. So how
yeah,
can you sell something that's already there? You know.
I don't know. I'm going through a lot of stuff. But so I don't take very many. I haven't taken anybody else anymore. I said about 2 or 3 people. They experience everything that I said. They come back saying, "Man, you know what he's talking about is all there." You know, and they only saw some of it because they won't show everything to them.
Mhm.
You know, I'm in there like with them, like, okay, show them that, show them what you showed me, like, do it. Nothing. You know, they'll do a little bit, but uh, and I believe that it's only the ones that are either like they have to have like really good intentions.
Right.
That place will not show people if they have bad intentions, and the ones and then when they do go in there, that place will open you up, not in a good way, but it'll make you see yourself. It's like a mirror.
Yeah.
It'll open you up. Because I've taken this one lady, it broke her down. I told her it's probably going to get in your head. Like I said, that place either gets in your head, or it kicks you out, or you don't come out. But one of those things is going to happen, and but what it does is kind of like it shows you your ugly side of yourself, and but it also will deal with a lot of things in you that it'll remove. Like you get an opportunity to let everything go in that place and restart your journey in life. And but there's another side to it. Like I said, it's going to show you because even with her, it showed her how she was molested when she was younger, and she never talked about it. But she had an opportunity to deal with that trauma there and leave it there, in which she did. But in return, all it wants is for you to to have gratitude and tell its story. And if you don't do that, like if you kind of like it gives you a certain thing, and then if you squander it, you're gonna pay for it in an ugly way. And I've seen that with a couple of people. That's the reason why I don't take anyone anymore.
I
Because
think that they refer to that as chaotic neutral,
yeah,
you know,
it's because
Oh,
because
good in theory.
it's just telling you the truth. That's what it does. It tells you the truth, and the truth isn't always warm and fuzzy.
right. And then it's kind of like they squander the gift that is given to them, the
Mhm.
opportunity, or they'll use it for something really bad. Like um, one of them, one of them turned against me, and it's kind of like you want I give you this gift, and then you use it against him, who he is with me.
Yeah,
Kind of that
definitely
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
You know what I mean? Like the so it's way more. It isn't just have it just the energy is not just there. It will come this way. I guess it's like karma. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
In a way, I gave you a gift, and this is what you do with it, and you attack one of my own, and
Yeah,
but some have like my members. Two of my members, one of them was completely healed from a lot of things that he was going through his body. Like he struggled with the scoliosis, and he had a hard time walking, even and now he's running. So it does a lot of things like that now. So I've been accused of being obsessed and selling my soul. That's another one. Not just selling souls, but sold my soul. So
Well, that's how you got the whole pack started, right? You gotta start with one to get to sell more.
right.
What does the soul go for these days? I'm just curious.
Uh, Probably not much, man. The way everything is now, probably a roll of toilet paper, maybe.
Right? I was gonna roll of quarters, but yeah,
Yeah.
toilet paper.
Right. So, and like
Okay.
I said, this is just the top of the iceberg. I mean, the knowledge that I started to acquire, um, everything just went off the chart. And because I've really been the only one in my team that's been there so many times, actually in San Antonio, and that's what kind of gets me because San Antonio is the second largest city in Texas. I think it's over 8 million people or something. There's a ton. Everything here is haunted. This whole city is built on limestone, and they're still out there. You go to these quarries, they're still there, nothing but limestone. And then all
Yeah.
the battles that were fought here, of course, with the Alamo, everywhere is just death. There's indigenous graveyards that have been built over with hotels now, buildings, plazas. I mean, parks, just built right over them. Uh, and so there's a lot of paranormal activity here, and a lot of paranormal investigators, and none of them will go in that forest. And I started saying that really boldly now because of how many times I've been in there and I know what's there in the story of it. But and I kind of like I challenged them not just to go in there, but to kind of I want people to go there so they can confirm what I'm talking about. And a few have gone and they say, yeah, it's just like what he said, man. We got in there, we got lost. Something came after us. We only got this far. And it's like, yeah, you're only going still at the beginning of it. Go about 6 miles in there at night. You know what
Wow.
Down. Sign me up.
yeah, and but they don't go in there. They stay away from that place.
That's
And
it.
that place,
Yeah.
go,
Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I looked it up and there's something called RJA Ghost Tours that does tours there.
Oh no, I don't think they go there. They may go to like I said,
They go to the
they
bridge.
the
Yeah.
bridge is the urban legend of the donkey lady.
Yeah.
You go past the bridge and you go into the forest. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah, they
selling tickets to go there.
Yeah, the bridge is a hot spot for kids,
Mm-hmm.
especially right now. This October's almost around the corner. That place is going to be packed. They go there and
Yeah.
they call out the donkey lady's name, but they may go a little bit into the forest, but you'll
Mm-hmm.
hear them screaming. We've gone in there and we just waited down a little ways, and they'll come in or they'll follow us. And say, hey, a bunch of kids, hey, you want to go? They'll tell us, can we go? Can we go? Yeah, go. We'll turn around. They're gone. Because they like I said, it's just the bridge part that's the more of the tourist thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got its own thing too. But it's not what's in there. But but I just been amazed on how these real paranormal groups that are right here won't go in there. They
Yeah.
will not go in the forest. Now I've talked to a lot of them. I know a lot of people here says no. I went there about 10 years ago and I saw a dog burning in a ritual, so I won't go there never again. Or no, I got attacked by something or something came at me, something dark. And that's just one side of it. There's another side to it. On the other side is a whole nother that I call Jurassic Park because that's a whole nother thing. And that's what I mean. It's a whole nother neighborhood with a whole nother world of other different kinds of entities and
Wow.
spiritual things. And it's it's just wild.
Yeah.
Christina, road trip.
Sure, why not?
And like I said, that's one place because I still have the Devil's Den where I got that robe back there. That's a
Yeah,
whole nother story right there. And
I remember
but
that story.
but that's a good one. And but that like I said, there's another place, there's another side to it, and there's another side to it. And of course, now that I have my bike, so I've gone twice already, but both times it's something about that bike. I don't know what it is. That bike provokes them.
Hmm.
It's like okay, it's like dogs. Dogs just like to chase things. So if you go on your bike, the dogs will chase you. They'll bite your leg. They get a chance. It's just like that. That's a great. It just came to me. That's a very good example right there. That's why
You
I got
know,
knocked off the last time.
speaking of dogs, they are real sensitive creatures. Have you tried taking one out there with you?
No, I don't have any dogs. I got cats.
Oh, I got dogs
Oh,
and
we,
cats.
we got a story with the cat in there. We went in there one time on another side, and we met a cat,
Oh
and
yeah,
and the cat led us through that whole forest.
just kicked it with you the whole night.
Just kicked it, and we were just following. And he took us to some different place that we have never been, and we actually did a Ouija board session there. Sorry, people,
Uh,
it's back there. Look.
to each their own.
I
And
don't personally have an issue with Ouija boards. What I have an issue with is not protecting yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, or closing your
Or
sessions.
closing your, or not closing sessions.
oh,
Yeah.
just leave it open and go to sleep, and you'll be all right.
No, because I've made that mistake. Not making that mistake again.
But
Did
we,
that,
like I said,
did that in high school.
we did a Ouija board session in there, and then the cat let us back out. And then it was crazy because we filmed that one. That one I have it on film, and he even jumped in the car.
Just to be
Said,
clear,
"Take
we're
me
talking
home."
about a house cat, right?
Yeah,
Not like
a
a
house-
mountain lion.
No, a house cat in the forest,
Okay.
and he was leading us. We were just following him, and he would run in front of us and wait for us and run for us. I've never seen a cat do that. I have cats. So we
Now you
made
have
a
a
joke
cat.
about it and said, hey, what if we take this cat to another location before you know it, he's in my car? And so we went back, of course, to that spot. We didn't see him. The third time we went back there, guess what? We ran into another cat
Hmm.
in that forest, and it did the same thing.
Wow. So now you have two cats?
Well, I didn't bring him with me, but
He
but,
didn't bring him home. He already had his own.
but what we started to gather from that is that the spirit of that forest is actually that cat.
Okay.
And
They're the guides.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the guides, because they wouldn't let us go to some places. Like we would try to turn and go in here, well, let's go through that, and the cat would just meow and meow, like run in front of, literally trying to trip us from not going.
Like, no, we'll go this way, not that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one hyped up a lot of people when they saw that. They said, where's that cat? I don't know. He's somewhere over there. But
Yeah.
that's another section, because those little lightning bugs that we call lightning bugs,
Yeah.
they'll also do the same thing. But that one, you feel it. It'll just, like, you feeling drawn to it to follow me, and it'll come to you, and then then it'll pull you into the forest. But if you're not careful and you follow the wrong one, I would say, you'll fall in that river. Yeah, just like that.
Take you right over the edge.
No, just like that, what flew in front of you
In front of who?
from the res.
I don't know what that was. Bug of some sort.
Yeah, it's just like I'm talking. Those little things, they'll come out, and they'll pull you, and if you go too far, if you follow them the wrong way, you'll literally fall down a cliff into that river. So you can't follow all of them.
I agree with Raz. That sounds like fairies.
Yeah,
It
that's what
does.
they are.
Yeah.
Well, we started calling them fairies, but I think that they're more the indigenous spirits of that forest.
That could be.
Next time you go there, try leaving some sweets for them, like some Skittles or some M&Ms or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they say
Yeah,
don't
when you-
feed them, because if you feed them, then they're going to come home with you.
No, they're not going to come home with you. Don't say thank you, but
I don't
here,
know.
just
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, hey, I brought you an offering. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Well, we
know.
started doing that because the trees, when they started to show me, where does the Bigfoot disappear to, and they showed me it goes into the trees.
Is there a
That
portal in
fits
the
it.
trees?
It goes into the trees. Because it started showing me on how to connect with like when I speak about it, I get really emotional, because it's like I connect with with the ground, that connect with the grass, with the trees, with the air, the insects. Even when I go with some of my members now, I said, don't step on the ants, walk over them.
Yeah.
I'm real protective of even the grass. When I walk through the grass, I tell the grass, I'm sorry, but I'm fixing to step on you. And I've actually seen the grass just fold down. So
Energy
like,
Yeah.
transference.
Yeah.
so I'm like, um, I'm just real protective. It's protective of the place, and the thing is about that whole area is protected already because, I don't know what they call it, but they shut it in where you can't build anything on it because they have a big Toyota plant. The Toyota car manufacturer is right down on that same land that they
Mhm.
even gave land back, and now that whole land is you can't build on it no more. So it's protected forever now.
Sort of like a natural preserve then.
Right. So
Okay.
now when you look at it, the only thing that's there is a bike trail that goes through it. And that's the only cement part of it. And like I said, when I started doing the research on that place way back, I found when they were building the dam to San Antonio, and back in 1981, they found artifacts. So they had to stop. And I think that's why they preserved it.
Hmm.
Because anytime they find artifacts, and they dated those artifacts 10,000 years. So you have 10,000 years, and there were indigenous artifacts. And so you have 10,000 years of generations. So where did they bury those people at? They buried them there.
Yeah. All in that area.
So guess what's there? They're there. And then 10,000 years, they come now and they try to build on it, but they find this. So now it's protected. And so instead they build a bike trail through it and right over probably right over their graves, but they're scattered all through there, wherever the little cemeteries are that they have. And so now it's protected. So now that land is the same land that was there 10, 12, 20,000 years ago. So you got all this spiritual thing, and then with the shamans that are in there, and there's I found there was two, but I know there's more. Um, and I think I brought that up. What really happened there because of the screams that we started to hear and the images that was downloading on me. I have a tribe that I'm fixing to connect with that's actually still here. As part of those tribes, there was 10 tribes there. But I've heard them on YouTube, and they talk about the same thing. So, but what it was showing me and one of my members was how one of the shamans ended up sacrificing his whole tribe for more power, which now you know where it's going, Riz.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it's going too. Yeah.
See, and that's why they were screaming because I could see them, even the women, the children, the babies, they were all massacred. And when I have that recording where you can hear them, it's like a 2.5 year recording where you can hear them literally screaming. You even hear men screaming. And that's what it was showing me. And then when my other member came and told me, "Hey, man, I had a dream and I saw this," it was exactly what I was showing when we were there. Actually, my son got the same thing, and so that's what's walking through there. One of them that's walking
Hmm.
through there, and but he blamed the other tribe shaman, so they killed him because they were and because he blamed that he killed the other tribe, but actually it was him who killed his own tribe.
Hmm.
That does not lead to good left behind energy.
No,
No.
that's why there is some
That
bad.
place
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
layered.
That's why there's
Layered
some
for
bad
sure.
stuff in there that will kick some butt for the people that try to
Yeah.
go in there. That's why nobody goes in there because everyone that goes in there, I guarantee, even when you go there just for a little while and there's people there and you see, even if you do see anybody going in there investigating, just give them about 30, 45 minutes and they're going to come out and running.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because we go in there, I've gone in there so far, I have a lot of this place mapped, and I'm still after 3 years, I'm still just I found another place that is just you see the layers of if we were to call them Bigfoot that
Hmm.
is there. I've been talking to another friend of mine, Joe De Hoyos. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's from the Woodlines podcast. He lives in Houston. That's what he does. He's the Bigfoot guy. His stories, what he's seen, matches this over here. The person that we ran into the second time, a hitchhiker. I mean, a hitchhiker. I call him the hitchhiker. I think I do. It's on my YouTube. But he was walking out, and I stopped him and I said, "Hey, do you know where this house is at?" And we just start talking. He starts telling me that he does offerings in there, and that he was by himself, but he talks about the stamina. And I said, "What is a stamina?" I said, "It's like the Bigfoot." He goes, "Yeah, he called it a stamina." I never heard that name. And I've tried to dig up that name and I can't find it. And he showed us pictures. He started showing us the pictures where you see the big trees just knocked down and just laid sideways. Well, I have found big trees that you can see them where they're broken, then they got vines wrapped and almost like tied. I mean, like we sat there. There's a chair that we found in there that I sat in that I call my chair now. It's huge. It's big like this, and it has. You can see the little ones just tied together and tied together. They use the force. Like you can see that it was done with hands. Nobody goes in there and does this stuff, and it's too big anyway and too high. I mean, you're gonna be walking with a ladder for a mile. I don't think anybody's gonna do that just to
Right.
tie this thing up. And but we have heard all of that when it comes to that thing of it. I do believe there's one there, or not one. There's a whole tribe of them. But I've always heard about the Bigfoot stories about where do they go? Why can't nobody catch them? Why can't nobody get real good pictures? So I started asking, um, where do they go? And they showed me they go into the trees. So we call them interdimensional beings, right? I think I heard that. Well, they use the trees and they go into the tree, and that's how they connect to all the forces that are around. That's why you can't catch them. So I've been asking. So I've been asking which trees do they go in? Because there's some big trees in there. I said, show me the big trees. Which trees do they go in so I can go find it?
So here's the question: you catch a Bigfoot, what the hell are you going to do with it?
I don't know.
Because you're probably. I mean, you corner one that probably not going to be happy with you.
Well, I've said we've been in there. We've done an offering before where you see the fogs are coming out. It's just regular and there's dark, and then as we start doing the offering, the one spirit of the forest, which I did even catch an apparition when I was on a live one time. You saw him just walk right in front of us and behind the trees. That was really cool. And but the when it starts to open up the vortex or the dimension, it'll start to get foggy. Before you know it, it's just starting to get foggy, and then everything just changes. You can feel the atmosphere change, and but it's going to get dark because you're in another place now, and if you don't get out of that one, you're going to stay in that one, and it'll start getting really dark. And then that's the one time that we heard a big tree just go boom. I mean, you heard this crack, and it wasn't a little branch. This was a big tree, and it was almost right close to us. But you never hear anything run. We've heard this growl that comes at us. It's not a pig. I know I've heard pigs. I know there's pigs in there. I've seen them. This is not a pig. This will go right through you when it does this sound, and but you never hear anything run. You don't, it's the forest. You're going to hear feet. You're going to hear crunching.
Yeah.
But in a way, those have been our old crap. I'm keeping it clean now. Those old crap moments. Like, okay, we're not going to get out of this one. I know what's going to happen. Something's going to run onto the side and take him, then take him, and then I'm going to run. Then it's going to take me, and then the camera's just going to fall over. Then what's going to find it? It's like in a movie.
You just got to remember, you got to outrun your teammates. That's all.
Yeah.
Outrun the teammates. Ain't got to be the fastest one, just not the slowest one.
Yeah.
Well, that's bears. Bears are not interdimensional.
You could run from anything. Me personally, you put me face to face with a Bigfoot, I'm trying to communicate with them.
Right.
I'm trying to say, hey, let's kick it. Let's talk. Let's discuss a few things here now.
Well, they communicate through me. Like there's been, I think 4 times now where the Sasquatch community has communicated through me in a trance channeling where they've done healings on people, where they've done communicating with people, where they've asked, you know,
Oh, shoot.
don't come this far because it's not safe for you. I went into a forest in northern Wisconsin recently, and I went in there because I knew that I was being called, or I felt like I was being called. I knew that there was a lot of Sasquatch activity in that area. And as I drove into that forest, I brought my car to a stop, and my car was covered with biting horse flies or deer flies, thousands of them. I could not see out the windows. My car was covered in them. And they communicated with me telepathically and said, "You need to leave. You're not safe here." Don't have to tell me twice. I backed up right out of there. But I've never seen, I grew up in Wisconsin. I grew up in northern Wisconsin. I have never seen that level of insect activity that fast.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
I feel you on that.
yeah, and I couldn't see out the windows. I'm like, all right, guide me out of here because I don't know where the road is. But as soon as I got my car turned around, started heading out, cleared right away. But they just told me, "You're not safe here. You need to leave." So, all right,
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
that's similar to here too. When it wants
Yeah,
to, it'll show us, especially me, like, okay, I may not say nothing, but okay, we're just gonna go this way, because
yeah,
even as we're falling, because when it opens up like that. The crazy thing too is there's we never get bit by mosquitoes.
yeah. You're protected.
Everybody else gets tore up.
Right.
I maybe gotten maybe 2 or 3 mosquito bites in the 3 years I've been going there. Other than that, man, there's just because we're by the river. We're right there on the river.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you should have mosquito haven down there.
So a lot of people tell me this when I talk about this. I want to go. I want to go. Like um, only a few have gone. Actually, Greg has been there. Yeah, Greg went in there and he is a believer now.
Nice.
He
yeah.
experienced some things that he saw himself that were pretty cool. I think he
Interesting.
did see one of the vortexes light up. That's what he's talking about, the light that he saw. And
Well,
and,
I'll have
and
to ask him about that if
yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
comes on the show.
yeah, but Greg is not somebody who's gonna BS or anything for
Yeah,
just to talk about something. And so he got the opportunity to come down and we went there.
nice.
And it was just a little bit that they saw.
yeah.
But like I said, this is just the topping. I mean, there's still stuff. There's stuff that I don't even know how to explain.
Yeah.
I
But
think you should do a full hour-long documentary about this place. Everything from the history
I
you can document to,
I think we just
you know,
did.
oh, it's
no,
a lot. This is kind of like, or I could actually go back and say this was our first time in there. The last time I counted in there, I think I've been in there 27 times before I moved here. Because every time
Wow.
I go back, I would come back a couple of months, and later because they kept calling me. And after the first 3 times, it got more intense with me and my son that we could literally hear the forest noises at home in the desert. I would go to the backyard in my shop and I could hear the forest. And I would call him and tell him, "Hey, I think we need to go back. It's calling me back." And he goes, "I know. I've been seeing things, and it's like, why do we got to go back?" And then we started. I just started telling him, I says, "You know what it is? I don't think it's the forest calling us. I think it's us calling us. I think a part of us got trapped there. That's why we feel lost because we're still there. We only came out so much, and it's us calling us back to come get us back out."
That makes absolute sense to me.
very well could be.
Yeah.
You
But you got to
know,
remember the river. The river's
Yeah.
still flowing to the right. It has never gone back the way it was the very first time.
So you've never returned to your original dimension.
You can't. I don't think we ever will.
Interesting.
And like I say, now it's I go there all the time. It's only 28 minutes from my house.
Nice.
So
Wow.
I go by myself sometimes, and I'm never afraid. It's dark. It's secluded. There's a lot of sometimes bad people that are out there. I mean, we hear gunshots. The last one I was in, there was gunshots. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I don't. Sometimes I go armed. Sometimes I don't. And then I wish I did. It's like, God dang it, man! Now you know this. And then, but I feel safe. I have never felt threatened in there. In my place, though. Now, when I go beyond that place, now I'm in a whole other realm. Yeah, that's when I'm not safe. But as long as I'm in my part, it's okay.
It definitely feels like as you're talking, I've been just kind of getting this mental image of it's kind of a convergence point for multiple dimensions.
It is.
And so, how do you, first of all, you don't know how many dimensions there are. And you only know the ones you've experienced, but there are many more, I'm sure. So how would you even begin to determine out of all of those convergent points, which one you started at? I mean, that would be almost impossible, I would think.
Well, these last times that I've gone, these last two times that I went, I know where it starts from the bridge. When you cross it's actually at the bridge. That's one. And then, I mean, I have them actually on my Google Maps. I have them portal 1, 2, 3, 4 on
Yeah.
on my maps. And but going further down, this time I started to be able to tell where mine ends and the next one starts.
Okay.
And then I went further than that one, and I mapped that one where that one ends and the next one starts.
Wow.
But
So
that's
so when are you writing this and putting this all in a book?
no, I've been asked that so many times already. I mean, it's like I tell people, I have footage that would blow these ghost hunters, ghost adventures away.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have footage, I have audio, but I don't even record there that much anymore. I stopped doing it because when I started to see the real story of that place and of the people and my people, it actually angered me. And even right now, they're shooting a movie there.
Wow.
It's a fictional movie, and it really upset me because they're not, they're making it out to be a Halloween thing. And I understand the legend of it right there of the
Mhm.
bridge, but there's way more to it. It's kind of like going to your family's tomb graveyard and making a movie around it, you know?
Yeah.
And I've really, like I said, I really have taken it really deep personal feelings towards it because it's my people that were murdered. And
Mhm.
not only by them, but by the people when they came over to this area, hundreds of years ago and just said, "This is my land. Guess what? Get out."
Yeah.
You know. So it does bring me a lot of anger on that side that I didn't have before. I never felt that before. And so I don't like just the other day, the stuff that I got for that night is someone had told me, "Man, why don't you put this out there?" I said, "Why?" So I can just be another ghost show. I mean, I understand I'm a paranormal investigator, but
Mhm.
a paranormal investigator to me is it's bringing knowledge or bringing something to light. It's not just getting bumps in the night.
Right. Exactly.
Well, by taking on your information you have, all the data you've collected over years, and putting it into a single package, you're leaving behind all kinds of information and knowledge for generations to come to learn about this and to build off of that for
Yeah,
that area.
yeah,
So, in all reality, it would be a good thing if you did,
yeah. You kind
you
of
know,
got me right there. Yeah, you
Yep.
did.
you
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 got
sure
me
know,
right
did.
there.
because that's part of the whole concept of this show was to leave something
Yeah,
behind for the next 7 generations to say if there's a child
Mhm.
that's inspired that wants to be a paranormal investigator, great. If it's another child that sees this, go, hey, I could do a podcast, and it inspires them to do something. Who knows? Maybe the next future Walter Cronkite is watching the show right now, and when they get older, they got the next big thing.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense. I know. I've had some people. I know Carl Johnson. I don't know if you know who he is either. The guy that did Conjuring.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a well-known guy. He told me the same thing. He goes, "Man, you need to put this out there." And I just, for me, it's kind of like, well, uh, I just don't want it to turn into something else. And like I said, I just um, that place for me is kind of like I just started walking my own journey with it now. I do videotape every now and then. Um, I do, and I get some really good stuff on there. But I just don't put it out anywhere. But that does make sense for me. I know I've been hearing that a lot lately. Maybe it's the universe telling me, hey, put this together and um and show it.
The words that I'm hearing though is it's like it's like the spirit that of your former self, or the spirit of the part of you that's still there, really just wants you to do this as this is a story of my spiritual journey.
Yeah, man, this is not cool because I don't want to do this, and I've heard that too. I've heard that too. But look, why don't you look at it this way? This is part of your spiritual journey, okay? So
This,
show all this
yeah.
stuff, and
I
it's
mean, I'm
not
not
only
trying to pistol whip you or anything. I'm just
no,
saying,
you just kind of like,
but
You're just reinforcing what he's already been told.
I
yeah,
get that. But if it can help somebody else, maybe it's worth doing.
right, right.
You
I
know.
mean, it is pretty exciting. I do have some really, really cool stuff out there, even from the because I use necrophonics a lot. That's my thing. I've
Yeah.
tried the SP7. I can't do it because I can't get past the.
Oh, I can't either.
So, and then the necrophonics that I have, my phone, I just got it back because the spirit in there broke it, and I went and got it fixed because that phone has so many attachments to it. Like all my equipment has attachments. That's what I mean. For me, it doesn't bother me. They don't mess around with anything else. I can contain them in certain things.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah.
He froze up.
Did I?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. As soon as he says contains, like we're gonna
Uh,
contain him for a
Uh-huh.
minute.
I started
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Spirits are like, no,
attachments.
you're not containing anything. We are
Yeah.
agreeing to a boundary.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Are you still with us? Hello, Wraith.
Oh,
Uh-oh. I think we lost him.
No, we got him back.
we got him
Oh,
back.
there he
All
is. All
right.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's when I started talking about attachments. My attachments that I have. They
It's
don't
when you
like.
Yeah.
said containment that you have it contained, and they're like, you don't have us contained.
Yeah,
We are
No.
agreeing to be respectful.
yeah.
That's
Okay, well, respectful, contain whatever you want, but I got you in that phone.
yeah.
Got like 9 of them in that phone.
Speaking
And
about things being contained now, you have a friend sitting right next to you, next to that off to the side. Yeah. Let's talk about her a little bit.
the
You
new
know, we
one,
were talking, yeah, and
the
I
other
know
two,
we talked about him a little bit.
the
Uh-huh.
other
I
two in the
see,
back.
I see the two in the back. I think this new one's kind of cute, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she is. This is the new one.
She seems that high class feel off of
There
her.
she is. There she is right there. Look at
Yeah, don't look in those eyes.
that.
She kind of reminds me of like a Zsa Gabor.
Kind of, yeah, yeah.
I'm waiting for her to walk up and smack him. What you thinking?
Like I said, I've only had her, I think, for 4 days.
Now, if
So,
the other ones are close enough for you to reach, I'd have you show them off too.
oh yeah, this one. That's why I got a long cord.
Ah, there you go.
You gonna.
Oh, in a case and everything.
Yeah, this one.
Oh my
She has
goodness.
this one. When I got her, she has never been out of the. She's never been out of the case for 25 years
Oh,
until I let her out. And I mean by that is because still had her original ties.
yeah.
The way they come, so I untied them and I took her out. So that's the first time she's been out.
She got a breath of fresh air. She needs that once in a
Yeah.
while.
This one, Her name is Susie.
Susie.
Yeah, she's in the case. Now the thing with this one is, I don't know if y'all pick up on dolls, but I have the other one. This is where I guess it is cool. Oh, I can reach it. I'm gonna take over my headphones.
Oh, he's going in the deep for one.
Oh, she doesn't have a face, does she?
No, she's 3 foot tall. Yeah,
She's
she's
one
a
of them peekaboo ones.
yes. She's the big one. Yeah, she doesn't have a face because she goes against the wall. So the thing is with this one is that I got this one at Dallas, but I had been to a cemetery and it was with Greg and the other people that were here, and that grave is an abandoned graveyard, and I picked up an attachment from there that jumped in the car, and I didn't know she did, and then I bought her 2 days later, and I put her in my car, so she jumped into this one because she
I
found
feel
it.
I feel almost like a trickster or something, likes to play jokes on you, hide things, move things around.
She did, and so, but she was through one of my members uh, that she taps into all this really really well. She's actually the one that told me that because she picked up on her, and then that this one is her. She said before I even found even her name, she goes, "I'm picking up a Susan, and she's comes from like the late 1800s, and she was she wasn't a bad person, but she did murder her husband with poison because back then that's what that was. That's what they did. The big hot thing was poisoning, arsenic, and she did that to other. She started doing that to other men because I guess she had an abusive relationship. Of course, I guess she just took it out on every other man, and so don't have dinner with her.
Totally no food laying around the office there, huh?
So then I went and did some research on that abandoned cemetery, which is here, and I did find a Susan that was there from the 1800s, and
Nice.
so so I mean, so she kind of is a serial person. I
Yeah.
want to say the
Yeah.
second one. So, but she liked pearls and she liked shiny things and she did like to move things around. And then, but I just felt bad for her because you jumped in one that you can never see because you're always hiding. So I got her and I moved her into the one in the box because she's real pretty. She has curly hair. She has pearls around her neck. She wanted pearls, and she got pretty eyes. So now you can see. So I moved her into the other one.
Gotcha. This has been an incredible conversation. I have to tell you, Wraith, I had no idea what to expect walking into this, but this has been an amazing conversation. We are over time though, and I try to respect that
I told
because
you.
Yeah.
And
you
you didn't
know,
even get to see my other stuff in the big,
well, then we're
big
just gonna have to have you
case
back.
in the living
There you
room.
go.
We'll just have
You
to
heard
have
it.
you back. Yeah. I have been absolutely fascinated by this conversation, like from the minute we started. And um, if someone had questions for you or wanted to share their experience with you, how would someone get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to my page, Texas Wraith Hunters, on Facebook, or go to the WRAITH WORLD um, podcast on
Okay.
Facebook. Uh, I have another one called Oracle of Darkness, but I lost my co-host. Seems like I keep losing people.
This is the second time you brought this one up around me.
The Oracle of Darkness.
Yeah, last time
Yeah.
we were talking, you were telling me how
That
you lost your co-host.
that
Maybe
one.
Rez is looking for a second gig.
Well, that one I'll say real quick. That podcast is still on the shelf right now, but it's still active. I just haven't done it because that one I had another co-host, and that one we talked about the dark practices,
Mm.
not the real thing, not
Yeah.
just the little thingies.
Not the Hollywood crap.
Yeah, no, we talked about the real dark practices that had dark sorcerers, dark practitioners, practices like my practices, um, and we would show things. So we really pushed that one because you pull out a cow tongue with some stuff in it. I mean, you really, I guess, I don't know, it'll freak people out.
And moving on.
So that was that. So that's okay. Okay. So Wraith World Podcast, you can follow me there, or
Okay.
Texas Wraith Hunters, or I don't have my my name up there, Anthony
Yeah.
Ceballos. You can go to my personal one
Oops.
and then send me a friend request or something. But I have to see who you are first. I
Right.
got too many people like that already that I've gone through. But yeah, then you can message me there and then tell me your spooky story.
Don't you guys have your own little shop or something like that going down there too?
Oh yes. I'm gonna forget that one.
Got
We
it.
also have Wraith Worlds, crystals, from the dust crystals and metaphysical. That's our we do auctions because we sell the crystals, the skulls, you name it.
Cool.
And we do also not that, but we also do events here in San Antonio, which we just did one last night, which was awesome.
Nice.
So if you're looking for
Excellent.
crystals, bracelets, I mean, you name it. I mean, I got stuff sitting right here in front of me. We got a lot of it, and a lot of the people y'all know are clients.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm finding out that the metaphysical and paranormal worlds are not all that big.
No.
We're getting to know a lot of people. So
See, that's what I told my wife when she started wanting to do this, and she started doing it. And then I told her, I said, you're going to go to paranormal because she doesn't investigate with me. She has nothing really to do with it.
yeah, my husband
My
doesn't
wife's the
investigate.
same way.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, you're going to be paranormal one of these days. Well, she started doing the crystals, so we just started buying more, started taking off. And especially when we get down here, we open up a business here, and it just blew up. And I says, but guess what? Guess what all my paranormal friends wear?
Crystals. You got that right.
So there
Well-
you go. Come on in.
Well, thank you, sir, so much for joining us. I very much
Oh, now she's
appreciate it.
freezing up. What are you guys doing to us tonight?
I don't know,
There's a lot
man.
of
I did. Can you? Oh, now everybody's
Froze
frozen.
up, Christina.
You're froze up too. Everybody froze up.
There we go.
There we go.
Am I?
You were. I'm not anymore. I don't think. I don't know. But anyway, so I think we're just going to take the hint and sign off. Thank you guys,
Yep.
and we'll be back again sometime. We'll have you back on again, Anthony.
Oh, sure.
Definitely.
Thanks.